how not to break your jaw harp. Now, this is coming to us from a conversation that was going on the Reddit for jaw harp on how not to break jaw harps. Let's just talk about jaw harp. We're first going to talk about the parts of the jaw harp. Almost every metal jaw harp is similar. There is going to be an outside frame, an inner reed or vibrating tongue, and certain types of plucking may cause it to break prematurely. It may take half the time off your jaw harp. You could break a jaw harp in as little as, I've heard, half an hour or an hour of play if we're plucking it in ways that stresses the reed. Let's talk about that. Now, there are two directions we can pluck, but there's a whole bunch of variations in between them. The first one I'm going to talk about is toward yourself. Click. It's where you pluck the harp toward yourself. This is going to be generally the most safest and easiest on the reed and most applicable to all jaw harps. However, you can pluck the jaw harp not just toward yourself, you can pluck it away from yourself. And a lot of fast players, techno players, you'll see them playing outward. And that is just fine. It will slightly reduce the lifespan of your jaw harp or reduce the lifespan of your jaw harp, kill it almost immediately if you're plucking in this direction, in this way. Now let's talk about the variations in plucking. If you are plucking and you are brushing against and going away from the reed, see, that is very, very healthy for the reed to pluck with the reed, kind of straight out or only even out at an angle. But a lot of people, especially starting out, will be playing a harp that is a little bit quieter, and they will not be plucking it straight out or away from it. They will start plucking it across, where they start doing this to the reed, and you'll get actually a louder thwack out of it. I'm plucking, boom, here, across it. Kind of gives it a little thwack. Now, what is occurring when we do this, when we are compressing the reed like this is very, very hard on the reed. And we'll just get our little analog drawing out here. Here is a reed. Here is brushing past it, or even if we're brushing slightly away with the reed likes this. It doesn't like to be plucked across. If we are plucking across it like this, we don't want to do that because we are compressing it here and also stressing the reed here and here. Most often when I see jaw harps break from this, it is either broken off right at the knee bend because that compression, broken in this region, or broken right here. Mainly because if we brush with it, the reed likes this. It likes to vibrate. But when we pluck it like this, look what it does to the reed. It compresses it. It compresses it in this region right here. It bends the reed like this, stressing it here or even breaking it here. And the more we do this, and it's kind of a self-feeding thing. If you're plucking like this and really compressing the reed, what's happening is we're putting stress here, but we're also bending the reed forward. See, in general with harps, we want the reed to be on a flat plane with this. As we begin to bend it forward like this, as it gets bent out of alignment, it is going to get quieter now. Check this out. This harp is pretty well on center. It's that loud. Now I'm going to take and just do an analog of what happens when we play hard outward and bend it in front. See how it got quieter and it got fuzzier? So as the harp gets quieter and fuzzier from getting deformed, people tend to thwack it harder, compressing more. Boom, boom, boom. See how that compresses and bends it. Now it's even bend it even further. It's starting to get quieter. As we bend it forward, as it deforms more, this is a sacrificial harp, it's starting to get quieter, starting to get fuzzier. So people tend to thwack it harder. Thwack, thwack, thwack to make up for it. It does install draw starts on harps, but it does also really stress the reed. I'm just going to do an analog of this reed. This is just one from a garbage Snoopy harp. Let's see what happens when we brush with it. Brushing with it, look, it's vibrating nicely, but we start compressing it up. Look what happens to the reed. It doesn't like that. It doesn't like that. Doesn't like that. Does not like that. And eventually your reed's going to start to bend. It's going to start to bend there. That's why you see a lot of the breaks in harps is oftentimes in the center. Boom, here. Or even from over compressing here, breaking it off here. But see what happens here? Boom. Or even when it starts getting bent forward, snapping off at the base of the harp. And what is occurring here as well is spring steel is tempered to be springy. But if you've ever taken a piece of metal or a pop can, make sure you're wearing gloves if you do this work hardening. Take yourself a pop can and you bend it 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 and then it breaks. What is occurring there is work hardening, which can be done by beating or by bending, where the harp is bent and then bent and then bent and then bent, and that starts to lose its springiness. And eventually, and you can see it, it's starting to have stress cracks there because it's starting to get hard. It's starting to lose its elasticity because we're work hardening it. We're going thwack, 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 bending it hard, bending it hard. Let's see if we can get this to break. I hope it doesn't go flying into my eye. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel the consistency of it changing. It's work hardening. I have no idea how long it's going to take to bend this because this is not even proper spring steel. This is from a Snoopy. Let's see if we can demonstrate this. There it is. Boom, it broke. It was just like the pop can or a piece of wire where you bendy, 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 bendy. It gets harder and harder and harder. And actually, in old swords during the Copper Age, when they used to use copper swords for warfare, they would take the copper and they would form it out into a sword, and then they would cold hammer just the very edge, and that would work hard in the copper so that they could sharpen it and have an edge. So that is what's occurring. If we're doing our harp play, if you're going to play it outward, play it plucking kind of with it, kind of away from it. It might help you if you're in front of a mirror as well, but you want to kind of be going either straight with or just brushing up against. We're just brushing. We don't have to compress it to get sound out of it. We can just brush right past it. And if you're really worried about breaking your harps, in the 8 years I've been playing, I think I've broken 2 harps. One was a very, very fragile jingong that I broke, and then another one was a Dan Moy. I think I broke 2 Dan Moys from plucking them incorrectly. But other than that, harps, a good harp with a good quality spring steel reed should give you anywhere from hundreds of thousands of plucks to even, I think I seen once on a Zalogi Black Fire box, it said, with inward play by one person, you get around 31 million plucks out of a harp. I don't know. I don't have any way to confirm or deny that, but I do know that if you are plucking a harp in a responsible manner, inward most of the time or even outward, you will get a lot of plucks on it. And there are harps that I'll play outward aggressively. Pavel Pokin are pretty affordable harps. A lot of like the Zalogi and Zalogi Black Fire. If you break it, you can buy another one and they're not super expensive. Now your super rare harps, your Mun harp, your really expensive Vargan, especially things with a recurved reed, we don't want to pluck these outward. These are inward only pluckers, and especially like drymba that have recurve hook triggers or anything melodic, I don't play outward just because of the risk of deformation. But I hope this helps. Comment below. Is this how you pluck? Have you had any problems? Has anyone out there broken harps? I had people message me where they broke 2 Pavel Pokins in a row and one they only got 30 minutes out of, and it's due to that thwack, thwack, thwack. I advise them on some different playing styles on plucking inward and also plucking parallel to the reed, just brushing up against it. And I think the problem of premature breakage went away. But that's it for this ramble. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more harpery. Make sure to keep your harps clean and keep them dry, keep them old. But most of all, be good to each other. I love y'all. Harp out.